Day 6 of the World Cup down, and still the surprises keep on coming. So I didn't see a lot of these results. I didn't see a lot of them coming at all, I must mention. Our hot topics for discussion, the results from yesterday, obviously, Qatar out of their home World Cup. Trouble for England and Wales. Neymar is going to miss the next two matches. One Love armbands causing a little bit of controversy still, as you would expect. And then maybe a very quick look at the upcoming fixtures. Before we go there, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell as well to be notified of future videos, and really appreciate your support. And we're celebrating hitting the 9,000 subscribers. Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. Okay, results from yesterday. Let's get straight into that. As you can see here, we have first up yesterday, Wales versus Iran. Where are we gone? There we are. Yesterday, of course, was the 25th. Wales versus Iran, that ended 2-0 to Iran. Two stoppage time goals, well into stoppage time for Iran, which means that Wales's chances of progressing are hanging on a string at this stage. And I want to touch on that in a minute. Qatar have lost to Senegal 3-1 as well. Qatar actually looked good for stages of that match, but we'll come back to that as well. Disappointing match from the Netherlands. They looked a little bit bright at the start. They had an early goal, but it was really Ecuador that were all over them on that one. And then England, another 0-0 draw in this World Cup, and it's England and the United States, with England did not play well at all. So I think the only one I'll just briefly dip into here, which with regards to the stats, is going to be Netherlands and Ecuador. As you can see, Netherlands did have slightly more possession on that one, but I think it's when we start to look at the attempts on goal that you see a vastly different story. Look at that on the right-hand side. It is all Ecuador. They had 13 attempts versus 2 attempts on goal, 5 of which were on target, 3 off target, 8 inside the penalty area, and 5 outside the penalty area. And yeah, it just doesn't compare with what the Netherlands were doing. So not impressive at all from the Netherlands. I'm surprised about this. I am very surprised about this. We come back to, I've lost it, 25th. That was yesterday, correct? So we come back to, firstly, the Qatar result. Qatar are, well, they're out, as we know. They looked very lively for this match. They were well up for it. They had a lot of chances. Very exciting match, actually, to watch. So I saw most of the second half. Very exciting. Qatar tried a few different things, but ultimately they just aren't strong enough. Senegal then go away with the win, and they were more or less picking off the goals. Where does that leave the group at this moment in time? Well, it leaves Ecuador and Netherlands in pole position, but you can see Qatar on 0 points, whereas Netherlands, Ecuador both have 4 points, which means Qatar won't be able to catch either of them in their final match, so that's why they're out. Senegal still in with a very big chance here, and of course Senegal will need to play against Ecuador in the next match, and it's Netherlands versus Qatar. So I dare say Qatar could be on the back of a very bad beating there, unless they try to go home with something. Speaking of which, so Iran's win over Wales propels them up into second place in the group. You would have never seen that coming based on their first performance against England, but they hung in there. They did quite well yesterday against Wales. They get the win. Obviously, it knocks another 2 goals off their goal difference as well, so they're only on a -2 now at the moment, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. Sorry, we're going all over the place. England drew with the US. Perceived to be a bad result as well, and it actually means that we have a very enticing playoff here between Iran and the United States on Tuesday to see who comes out of this group in second place. Potentially who comes out in second place. The other big factor here is that if Wales are to qualify out of this group, they now need to beat England, and they probably need to beat England by at least 4 goals. So this seems very unlikely. So unfortunately, it's looking really bad for Wales at the moment. Unfortunately, they were one of the teams I wanted to see come through this, and I think I actually had predicted that it would be England and Wales getting out of this group. So I'm going to be wrong. Let's see if I'm 50% wrong or 100% wrong. I don't anticipate England should have too much trouble beating Wales, but it's a local derby, so you never really know. You never know at all. Okay, so that brings me back to. I just changed around to the studio. Yeah, that brings me to the troubles for England and Wales, which we just covered. So it brings me straight on to Neymar. We mentioned yesterday Neymar had picked up an injury in the match against Serbia, so it's been confirmed that Neymar is expected to miss the next two matches, so the final two group matches for Brazil, and he will hopefully be back for the knockout stages. Assuming Brazil get there, I think they will get there. There shouldn't be too much doubt about that. One Love armbands. One Love armbands. Yeah, where do we go with this one? So a little bit more news has been coming out with regards to the One Love armbands. So I'm just looking for an article that I was reading on this. Okay, so England had the governing bodies of England, Wales, Belgium, Denmark, Germany, and the Netherlands, and Switzerland actually, had written to FIFA in September informing them about the One Love armband, but they didn't actually receive a response from FIFA. So really bad form, FIFA. But you know, what would you expect from like this corrupt organization? I'm sure they were very, very busy off somewhere trying to get bribes or something like that. But you know that's another story for another day. FIFA traditionally have uncovered themselves in glory, and sure, why would it change? Why would it change? So the spokesperson for England, his name is Bullingham. Let me just see what his first name, Mark Bullingham. So he's the chief executive of the Football Association in England. He said, we had a lot of meetings with FIFA over the period, and on Saturday before the game, we felt we'd reached an understanding where we would wear it. We hadn't got permission, but we would face a fine for it. Okay, so they were willing to take the fine. I think that England were like, okay, it's worth it. It's worth it, and it would be a good show. Unfortunately, then on the day of the game, they gave us 10 minutes notice, 2 hours before we were due to go to the game. They came here with 5 officials, and they ran us through a scenario where, at a minimum, anyone wearing the armband would be booked and face disciplinary action on top of that. And apparently since then it's come out that FIFA apparently threatened unlimited sanctions against any players who were wearing the One Love armbands. So there you have it. Really ridiculous. Really, really, really ridiculous if you ask me. Upcoming fixtures. Just to finish off, so upcoming fixtures. Today being Saturday, day 7 of the World Cup. Actually, I can confirm that 2 fixtures are already complete, but they are Tunisia, Australia, happened this morning. We'll talk about that tomorrow. And then we have my other screen over here, actually, Poland versus Saudi Arabia. We're going to have a very intriguing match between France and Denmark coming up later this afternoon. And we have tonight, we have Argentina versus Mexico, which is also one that I'm intrigued to see. Particularly when you factor in recent outcomes in that group. And then tomorrow, I think we had a very good lineup as well for tomorrow. Probably not as good as today. And I'm going to go back now and just see if I can find that. So you can't see it on the screen, but I can certainly read it to you. So Japan, Costa Rica, Belgium, Morocco, Croatia, Canada, and then Spain versus Germany. I knew there was a big one coming up tomorrow evening. Spain versus Germany. Then looking ahead to Monday, we have Cameroon and Serbia, Korea versus Ghana, Brazil versus Switzerland. Looking forward to that one. That should be good. And then Portugal versus Uruguay. Another fantastic match. So this World Cup is really hotting up now, particularly with one round of matches already down. So that's where we're at. Thanks very much for joining, and I will speak to you soon.